This is Daniela Camboni for Kitco News, and joining me today is Joe Martin, the founder and organizer behind the Cambridge House shows. Next show taking place January 22nd and 23rd in Vancouver. Kitco News will be on hand, but right now he joins me live from Vancouver. Joe, thanks so much for being with us.
Always a pleasure to be on Kitco.
Joe, I just feel there's so much buzz surrounding this show. What are your thoughts?
Well, it's probably the biggest show. It is the biggest show we have ever produced, which makes it, I guess, the biggest retail investment conference ever held anywhere in the world. But, you know, I was in Europe last fall, and we read the news every day here, and there's a lot of concern by a lot of investors about where are we going? And a lot of people are starting to take their own destiny in their own hands, if you will, not relying on their advisors. They want to find out what is the story about precious metals, gold, and commodities. Is China really going to bust? Is it going to be a booming years? These are considerations that are really getting down to where people have to find out for themselves, and I think that's what's getting the buzz going.
Joe, you mentioned the China story, and Frank Holmes will be debating Gordon Chang on this very topic of whether there's a bubble there. Is this one of the highlights of the Vancouver Resource Investment Conference?
I would think so. We're going to have that in, we have 3 different speaker halls going, but for this we're going to broadcast the debate. It will go for 1 hour on Monday, I believe, and we will carry that in all the other speaker halls. Mr. Chang is recognized, he's been on a lot of international media, his concerns about facts and figures that come out of China, and he believes China is in for a bust, a bubble bust. Frank Holmes on the other side, who's one of the top fund managers in all of North America, the world, Frank has his opinions, and he takes the other side. Matter of fact, I read Frank's columns last week, and he's prepared. It's going to be a very interesting debate, because so much of what we are doing depends on what happens to China. Our economy, the commodities that we're looking for, so much of it depends on China. So this is a big question.
Joe, who else would you say are the must-sees at this show?
I think a highlight we're doing this year for the first time, we've erected 2 pavilions, 2 tents within the exhibit hall. We have a great big exhibit hall. And these tents will each hold 100 to 125 people, classroom seating. One is the Casey Research Tent, and our own is the Cambridge House Investor College. And throughout the 2 days, we will be offering courses and introductory talks to people who maybe don't understand how the commodity markets work, don't understand what it is the companies that we have exhibiting do. So there will be ongoing courses free of charge for people to attend. But we're also stepping it up on the Monday afternoon. We are doing a world conference within a conference on battery technologies. This is getting to the point where if we're going to have electric cars, we have windmills, or we have wind power and all that, we have to find a way of storing that energy. And we have Tom Derlett, former head of the Canadian Atomic Energy Commission, who's probably one of the world's authorities on battery technology, Mike Berry, who's very up to speed on where we are. And this is taken in basically metals like lithium, graphite, which is really hot right now, magnesium, manganese, and vanadium. And these are rare metals, not rare metals, but they're metals that may be hard to find, but they're creating a lot of buzz because you can't have an electric car without these. It takes more graphite to make a lithium battery than it takes lithium. And Vancouver, Canadian junior companies are there. And anyway, this is a special section for accredited investors who may want to go into looking at this in deeper research.
Speaking about broadcasting, Joe, I understand that there's a broadcasting center this year.
Yes, it is. I believe you people will be working there, and several other people who do interviews at a show. There'll be room for people to sit around and listen to these. They will be carried up. A lot of them will be carried on our website after, and our new Cambridge House Cafe, we're calling it. But in front of it, we have a little fun thing. We bought a brass bull. I don't know what it weighs, but it's 10 foot 7 inches long, and it's full height, over 5 feet tall. And this bull will be sitting out in front of the broadcast center. And it'll be a little attraction. So you're around a big exhibit hall and you want to meet somebody, you can just say, well, meet by the bull. You can climb up on it and have your picture taken and throw it up on YouTube.
And speaking about bulls, Joe, what do you think will be the sentiment at this year's show? Will people be walking in more bullish or bearish? You're really setting the tone because this is the first big show of the year.
I think they're coming in to look for answers. You know, every day we're reading about the downgrading of Europe still, of what's going on in Greece and Spain, and France got downgraded. And I think there's a lot of real concern, and sure, we can be bullish on the commodities, which we are, But I think people are coming looking for answers.
Well, I'm sure you'll be able to provide some of those answers, Joe. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching. To find out more about the Vancouver Resource Investment Conference, check out www.cambridgehouse.com. You can also register for the show at this link. To email me any questions and comments you may have, send me them at newsfeedback@kitco.com. For Kitco News, I'm Daniela Cambone.
The biggest mistake they made is not really understanding why they're buying a deposit or a project. You don't do that, you're going to lose money.
But in the eye of the storm, we're going into a very, very serious period.
And that first chart just shows the direction all fiat currencies
Not
go.
rely on government.
This is a time when you should remember what it was like in 2000.
The dollar, which is just a floating abstraction, is going to dry up and blow away. It's going to be destroyed.
You know, I look around me today and I see people that are not looking after themselves, and yes, I'm afraid for them. I'm scared, but you know what? I look after myself first, and I do that by going to a Cambridge conference, and there's a lot of people like me out there, and you can do it too. You know, you listen to these pundits talk about the economy, they haven't got the foggiest. This is where it all happens. We've got the world's best speakers at a Cambridge conference who don't give you sound clip. They tell you the real thing. Turn that TV off, put your beer down, and come on down and find out what's happening with your life.